guys, welcome back to Overtime Heroics MMA. I'm Martin Hamilton and I'm joined today by Bellator fighter Johnny Campbell. How you doing, Johnny?
Fantastic. How about yourself, Martin?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Does it feel weird hearing Bellator fighter before your name?
Yeah, a little bit in a way. It feels really good to be considered a Bellator fighter, though. I really enjoy it already, even though it's been a short time.
Yeah, because it's been a long time coming as well. Because is that 33 professional fights you've had now?
Yes.
So
Yep.
you've seen it all, done it all, and you finally got what you deserve. So, firstly, like for the everyone at Overtime's Heroics MMA, congratulations on winning your debut. It's last Friday now. So, can you just sum up what it felt like when you finally got the call?
Yeah, it felt perfect. It felt like everything was kind of falling into place. I mean, after back in October, I fought down in Brazil and I had my ear nearly ripped off my head in kind of like a fluke accident. So, yeah, to then now suddenly be like, okay, now you're fighting a highly respected guy in Bellator. It was just perfect. It felt like exactly what I was trying to manifest. So I've been thinking and really focusing on positivity and really trying to manifest my goals. And yeah, when they mentioned Henry Corrales, it just was like perfect timing. And yeah, I said yes immediately, and I knew that it could be the fight that changed everything.
Because you touched on Henry a wee bit there. For those that don't know, what Henry has been around Bellator for a long while. Like he's been there, so he is a veteran of Bellator. Was there anything about Henry's game that surprised you on the night?
No, I mean, the only thing that surprised me really was just that he felt like a pretty normal dude. Um, yeah, being in the Bellator cage, I'm looking across from a guy who's fought multiple world champions, ex-world champions, current world champions. Um, and it just felt like another fight, just another cage, and just another guy. Especially once we started going, and he was missing his punches, and even when he was landing some punches, and it just didn't feel like he could hurt me at all. Um, yeah, he just felt like another guy. It felt like I was sparring really in there. It was an amazing experience. I felt like myself 100% for the first time in maybe like 35 fights.
Oh, that's amazing to hear because you were a last minute replacement as well, weren't you? Like that's a bit of a hot topic in MMA now. So, what positives did you feel like being a last minute replacement had for you? Did that stop any nerves kicking in, like when you were coming up to the big show?
A little bit, a little bit. So, I mean, throughout my career especially as an amateur, short notice fights were just something that was part of the game. And then with COVID happening, my last fight before this one, I took on 14 days notice, flew down to Brazil, and on 2 weeks notice, fought a world champion. And then, yeah, they said Henry Corrales on 30 days. And then I needed to quarantine for the last like 6 days. So, I mean, I really had 3 weeks to prepare for Henry Corrales. But yeah, the whole time I knew that he was doing the same thing. He might have been training a little harder for a little longer, but he was getting ready for a huge mystery box in cupcakes. He didn't know exactly how I would approach the fight, and yet I knew to a T basically how he was going to fight. I mean, there was almost nothing he could do to surprise me in that cage, and I knew that he was dealing with not knowing anything about me, and then he needed to make weight 135 for the first time in 7 years. He had made that weight. Um, yeah, he was dealing with the quarantine just as much as I was. So anytime any negativity propped up, it was like, hey man, he's dealing with the exact same scenarios. I got to just go out there and do my job, and that's what we did.
Because that is an amazing way to look at it, and that sums up what you were talking about at the start of the interview. But you just try and keep in a positive mind frame, and that seems that that was one of the big, but kind of push factors which allowed you to perform at the top of your ability. So do you feel that for younger fighters in your gym in particular, like they'll see you year round, that you staying essentially in fight shape the whole kind of year, that you can jump in 14 days, you can jump in 30 days? Do you think that makes you a good role model for the younger kids and shows them a different way of doing it?
I think so. That's what I've been hearing. So more than any other time, that's what I've been getting for as far as feedback. Is that a good role model, a good example. When I got into MMA, that wasn't necessarily the goal, but now that I'm here, to hear those words, role model, a good example, it's like it feels so good because it's something that I've been working at and really trying to perfect. And for a long time, I've made a lot of mistakes in my career. 13 losses I have, and I think that I beat myself every single one of those times. I don't think another man has ever beat me in the cage. It's always been myself getting in my own way. So to now be at the top of a hill and have people looking up at me saying, you're what I'm striving to be, man, it's one of the best feelings that I think that you can have. Humanity, one of the only reasons we're on this planet is to help each other get to the next level, whether it be enlightenment or success or whatever. And to know that I've leveraged my experiences to be in this position, it's a blessing. And I'm going to cash in on it 100%. I intend on continuing to be that person that other people can look at. And I want people to learn from my story. I mean, why go through what I've gone through, 13 losses, and I'm still one of the best fighters on the planet at my weight class? I want everyone to know that no matter how many mistakes you make, no matter how many times you fuck up, you can still get to the top. You just have to keep your head down and keep working hard.
Because that's a very interesting point you made, and you touched on your losses a wee bit there, and it seems, and especially in modern day MMA, that there's a lot of emphasis put on records and having like as people call it, an undamaged record. But you're just showcasing as well like how important losses can be as well to help push your career and push you as a person. Is that something that you think as well, that a loss can just be as vital at times as a win?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you don't let it damage you mentally, that's the biggest thing. I said it a lot recently. I think that most fighters would have dealt with my career and immediately given up, and they'd be whatever, selling software or something like that, where I said, this is what I want to do. It's my favorite thing in the world, and I'm going to just continue to do it until I'm successful at it. And yeah, sometimes I think they say you can't shoot an arrow forward without pulling the bow back. So I just that's kind of the way that it is. You cannot let it get on your mental, because if it does, then you'll end up just destroying yourself. You have to continue to move forward. And I love I love winning, obviously, but every time I lose, I learn more and more and more. So yeah, as of right now, though, I intend on winning all the way out from here on out. So I'm hoping to be fighting for a Bellator title by the end of the year. That would be fantastic. Um, so yeah, that's the game plan right now.
Because see, what do you attribute that to, that you're able to cope with a loss so well? Is that just the people that you have around you?
Man, it's a lot of like self-education too.
Right?
So I have great coaches and great teammates, and my family is fantastic, and my friends are great. I mean, I'd go on 4-fight losing streaks, and then I'd take a fight, and I'd still have 100 people hitting me up wanting to watch me fight. So yeah, having good people, but I love to read. I love to learn. There are massive massively impactful books that I've read, like The Biology of Belief and Mindset by Carol Dweck, and The Secret, about the law of attraction, and Think and Grow Rich, and all these fantastic books from people who are successful, who always say the same thing: keep focusing on the objective and you will pull it into your life. And if you if you focus on the L's and you focus on the negativity and the difficulty, then you're never going to go anywhere. So it took me a long time, 13 losses. Like you don't attract losses like that unless that's what you were focusing on. So I was focusing on the wrong things so much, but I just kept on trying and kept on learning, and I was able to find that avenue of positivity. And yeah, and every day it's still a battle. It's still a battle. There's always that ability or that desire to kind of focus on the negatives, like, hey, this is the bad stuff that's going on right now, and your ego wants to just blow that up, focus on it, dwell in it, but you gotta keep pushing forward. You wouldn't be doing what you're doing right now without hard work and focus. So exactly what I'm talking about. It's just different types of different ventures, but that's mindset is always the same.
Yeah, and that's a really great point, and I think that's something that anyone should take from this interview. Like, not just aspiring fighters, but if you aspire to be an author, if you aspire to be a journalist, if you aspire to be a teacher, that just the way you put that through, especially with the law of the attraction, like the sky's the limit, and you're an example of that because you now fight in one of the biggest shows in the world, televised across the world, just because you believed in yourself and you had those people around you, and it's amazing to see. And it's quite funny because we're having this chat, and you seem a very laid back guy. You seem very nice. James Gallagher didn't really see that side of you, did he?
Nah, fuck that. I know. Dude, I didn't even know who James Gallagher was. Not like, I don't know if I don't pay attention enough or what, but like, I mean, he was 11-1, 8-1 in Bellator, and I had never even heard of him. I was warming up, and my coach had already told me several times that not that he didn't think I wasn't gonna win, but he knew how hard of a fight that Corrales could be. So he was being very realistic, and he's very statistical and analyzes everything. So he was like, "Hey, man, you got like a 51% chance maybe to win this fight." But then on fight night, man, I was just feeling so good. I'm hitting those pads. I'm moving around. I'm talking. And he just knew. He was like, Cupcakes is on right now. He looks great. And he told me, he's like, hey, if you do win, James Gallagher's a really good call out because he's a big name. He's skilled, but not like a fucking world beater. He hasn't fought that many good guys. He hasn't fought a lot of guys like me, I don't think, who can grapple, who can strike, who brawl, there aren't a lot of people that get me to the floor, hold me there, or submit me. It just doesn't happen. I mean, 33 fights. It's like I beat more wrestlers by just pounding their brains in while they try to take me down than maybe any other type of fighter I've ever fought. So he was like, that's a great fight for you. So as soon as I got on that mic, man, I had already pictured in my head what I was going to say during the interview. I knew I was going to yell Scotty Cokes at the top of my lungs. I had already seen it. So when they, Big John hadn't even finished his sentence yet, and I just yelled, James Gallagher, where is he? Let's do it. I'll put him in a body bag. I grew up on WWF. I know how to talk on a mic. I've been doing it for a long time. I sucked for a long time. I tried way too hard, but over the last few years, I've really pinpointed what my voice is, and I think I'm ready to, shout it out to the world. So I went ahead and I called out James Gallagher, and then I see the guy at the hotel. This little gentleman comes walking down the hotel, and he's all animated, yelling in an Irish accent. And I was like, who the hell is this guy? And then it dawned on me, like, oh shit, this must be James Gallagher. What are the odds of that? And he's like, you're not going to put me in a body bag, yada, yada. I mean, he was all fired up. So yeah, I'm just having fun. I want people to know that it's real because I am really trying to make that man want to fight me. But at the same time, it's entertainment. I'm here to be entertaining. And if he wants to take that personally, that's his fault. And I think that if I fight him and he's angry, I have an even better chance of beating him.
Yeah, that's a great point, and plus that helps sell the fight as well because you got a bite out of him. Like, did he not? Did he write something to you on Facebook as well?
Yeah, we went back and forth on Instagram a little bit.
Oh, Instagram, right? Yeah, it was in the messages. Sorry. So you got a
Yeah,
bite from him through that as well. So you've dangled the hook there, and he's
yeah,
chomping.
exactly. Yeah, now I think he's gonna fight Patchy Mix
Yeah.
in the future, but I mean Patchy's ranked number 2. My intention is to be in shape. If I don't have a fight with them, I'm gonna be in shape and ready so that if somebody has to drop out, I'll fight either one of those guys on, the 2 weeks notice or something. I'll be ready to go.
Because if that fight does happen with James Gallagher and Patrick Mix, is there anyone else in the Bellator rankings? I love saying that we've got Bellator rankings now. I think it's one of the best things that Bellator have put in. Is there anyone else in the rankings that you have your eye on?
Yeah, I love there's a lot of guys on and around that top 10. So I mean, there's like the two guys at 9 and 10, Cass Bell, and then I forget the number 10 guy, man. I think I should be in there above both of them. So I would love to fight either one of them. And then Jornel Lugo, I think it is. He just beat Cass Bell by decision. I mean, come on. Who are these guys fighting to decision? I don't understand it. I don't understand the mentality of wanting to fight to a decision. So, and we got, who just fought. Rafion Stotts just beat a guy. Hamilton, is it? I think he's ranked like number 5 or something. He's a decision machine. I would love to fight that guy as well. Legitimately, everybody on that top 10, I'm ready to go against. I mean, I'm already envisioning it. If it ends up being me and Magomedov for the title at the end of the year, I beat that guy. You know that they're going to be making movies about me. It's going to be Miracle 2, 1980s Olympic hockey, rerun, because that would be the biggest fight the world has maybe seen in a long time. Russia versus United States. So yeah, I got my eyes on pretty much everybody in that division. And then if they don't want to put me in that top 10 mix, then there are several guys that fought on that card the other night with me that I would love to fight, like Albert Morales. I think he's a great fight. Perez, who fought and won on the first fight of the night the other night. I think that would be a great fight. So Rafion Stotts, even I would love that fight. He's just going to try to hug me until the bell rings anyway. So I may as well just go in there and try to kill him. Yeah, and honestly, I would love to fight any of the guys. I literally want to be fighting for the title by the end of the year, and I need maybe 2 more wins to do that.
It sounds like you're making Scott Croker's job very easy for him. That he could just put you in there with
Yep,
anyone and you'll be happy.
pretty much. Yep, exactly. And I swear I'll hype the shit out of any fight, any one of them. I'm gonna poke them and poke them and poke them, and I'm gonna make the people want to watch that fight.
That, that's the best way. A lot of people don't really like that, but it's essentially a show business. But you're in there to sell tickets. You're in there to make as much money for you and your family. It's such a short-lived career. If winding someone up on a press conference or annoying someone online gets you more money, go for it. It's it's
Absolutely.
it's fun. It's fun to watch. So,
Definitely.
just the last question of the night, because we kind of spoke about your team a wee bit earlier. Do you feel that you now, like getting the chance in Bellator, winning your debut against a veteran that everyone knows, do you feel that will now give like the younger guys in your team their opportunity, and you've now got set a path that they could follow?
Absolutely. We actually now this week will be fighting my teammate Christina Katsikis, who is the meat grinder. She's going to be fighting on Bellator as well. So she's a 1-1 pro, and she has a really good fight against a girl from Hawaii. That's going to be a fantastic fight. So we are like right there to just having multiple Bellator current fighters on the roster. So yeah, it feels so good. My team is old. We've had 4 generations of fighters probably, and I'm just one of those guys that never ever gives up. So I'm still here. So now to be like back kind of on the top of the gym, being that guy who's at the forefront, opening doors for other people, I could not be happier. And I love my gym, South Shore Sport Fighting, in Massachusetts in the USA. We just dogs, we more of a ground team, but we are addicted to mixed martial arts, and we are constantly learning and evolving. And yeah, I absolutely. We have just a room full of amateur killers that are just waiting. And as soon as this COVID stuff kind of blows over, we're going to be making a big splash yet again. South Shore Sport Fighting.
And we can't wait to see it. We can't wait to see things start to open up again and just see a whole new wave of fighters coming through. It's just going to be amazing to see.
Yes.
So Johnny, thanks very much. Thanks very much for taking the time at the busy day. I know you've been at a grappling tournament all day.
Yeah.
You've been coaching, so I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Happy to. Thanks so much.
No worries, and we'll get it done again when you're the Bellator champ. Okay?
Yeah, you know it. You know it. Thank you, bro.